Hello, my friends. It is I, Alphinius Goo, talking to you from Marvelous Dragon Con, where all kinds of wonderful people are running all over the place in totally cool costumes and all kinds of cosplay. It is off the hook. I'm blown away by it, and people are loving our stuff. We are having lots of new friends, and folks come up and talking to Gooey L and Gooey Riley and Gooey Mike and even yours truly, and they love our stuff, which is marvelous. Anyway, say hello, camera Mandy.
Hello.
Yes, no, it has been a wonderful time so far. We have made a lot of new friends, and we've been taking pictures and putting them up. In fact, we should do that, camera Mandy. We're going to show folks the Gooey Den. When do you want to do that? We can, because we got all kinds of pictures, and so like we were out last night with Patrick and Addie and Nessa, and Keith was there.
This is our stream. Although I don't know why it hasn't switched over.
It's not starting. You see, it's not even working.
I don't think there it is. Look at that. So there's our stream on Facebook.
Yes, very good. You can see us working while we're working.
This is the post I put up last night asking for questions from people. Hey, if you guys have a question, feel free to ask it this today. We have, if anything that you've been dying to know, just today's the day. And we have lots of memes here. Oh, I love this guy.
Yes, the new gnome from Abir is beautiful. Yes, beautiful. Wonderful little image.
Okay, we are getting, I'm sure, Kim or Alphinius, did you just sit around and screenshot images for this post here about hats and wizards?
I just wanted people to see that there are many wizards that do not wear hats. In fact, that one right there, hold on, Evan did that. Scroll back up to that GIF image. You see that right there?
Yes.
This is the pinball wizard, Davey, yes? This is the Who. This is the pinball wizard, that kind of thing, right? And notice the pinball wizard right there has no hat. No hat.
I've never heard of the pinball wizard.
Well, of course not, because it was like 1970s rock and roll. Oh, and there we are all out last night.
Dragon
Yes, what a wonderful group. What a wonderful group. There was Keith and Todd were there, and Nessa, of course, was right in the front. She took the picture. And Colt and Mike and Gooey L and Gooey Riley, and it was really just a wonderful time. We met some new friends, and it was marvelous. Patrick and Addie are in the back there, and it was just a really good time. It's wonderful.
No, it looks like you guys are having an absolute blast. And according to the post, you weren't drunk at all.
I was not. I had a couple of beers, and that was it. And then I went back and went to sleep. It was
Wait.
Oh yes, this is Todd.
Interesting here. Is this a cosplay of you?
Yes, Todd is cosplaying Alphinius, and he's a much better looking younger Alphinius, which is marvelous. So it's good. I guess you've made it when somebody cosplayed you.
I mean, I think you've made it to the F list when someone officially cosplays you. So you're working your way up the alphabet, Alphinius.
Yes, the F list, whatever the F list is. I'm not sure you want to be on the F list. It sounds like something that. Anyway, so yes, we've been selling lots of these bundles where people, they buy chapter 1, 2, 3, they get the World Book, and they get the Westford, and they get the map pack. And in fact, Elle's talking to people about it right now, and so is Mike. And it looks like people are buying things. So it's
That's
wonderful.
Awesome.
It's great to have such enthusiasm for all the materials. And I've had the pleasure of telling people, because in West Vedestia, there's probably 30, 40 people in there that made contributions to the Contributors Guild. And then on top of that, we've got a number of contributing authors in there. It's a bunch of contributing authors. And so we've been able to tell people about that. It's really made them happy. Oh, this is marvelous. This right here.
Speaking of West Vedestia.
Yes, this is the map pack that Miguel took this and put it all together, and using magnets, I guess, he put it up on his wall. And it's really, this is what I did when it was on the floor at my house. And it's really, that dang thing is 44 inches wide by, what is that, 10, 20, 30, 40, 68 inches tall. So that is a lot of map.
That is awesome.
But it is so pretty, it's just incredible.
So,
all right, keep going. Let's see what else is going on here.
Another cosplay photo.
Yes, that's
Gooey L.
And there's Gooey L, yes. And I want to find Egg Embry, because Egg has been a marvelous friend of ours.
Okay.
Egg, if people know, it might be earlier, but I don't know. But Egg, if people know, Egg is one of the more popular authors. He's a journalist in the game industry, and writes a lot of stuff about gaming and all of that kind of stuff. And we were able to meet him and say hello to him and take a picture with him. And
was he in this? Was he in this post? I'm not finding the post.
I don't know. It's all right. There's Mike and me, but he might have been. I don't think he was in there. I don't think. But anyway, it is no matter.
There's
Riley making a mess.
Riley is a rock star.
Yes, Riley is a rock star. I agree with that. So there's Nessa right there in the middle. It's marvelous to see her, and it's just. I mean, this place is. Now there's much less people here than when we came here in 2019. In 2019. We had about 80,000 people who came to this convention. So this year, from what I understand, it's more like 40,000 or so. So it's definitely not as big, but people are having a great time, and the parade was marvelous this morning. And listen, if you've never been to Dragon Con, this is a con to come to. There's just wonderful, lots of people and all kinds of wonderful stuff going on. We sat with Rick Enke last night, who's kind of a famous TikTok person. And it's just a wonderful place. So, all right, camera Mandy, what else do we get to do here? Okay,
so first, I think we are going to go ahead and show some art. Oop, sorry, I lost you for a second there.
I'm here.
Okay, so we're going to start with this.
Yes. So most of you know of the image that is on the front of the Weirded World, chapter 1 of the Encyclopedia Zyathé. And it shows Amostal sort of looking down upon it from above. But we also had this image made a while ago, and it's going to be used in some of our materials coming forward, of Amostal looking up. And when you look at this and you see the adventurer sort of down there in the corner, you really get an idea of the scope and scale and the nature of this corrupted and broken flying city, right? That is the last one that remains from the Aetherns. And it is said that there are artifacts from the Aetheric civilization that remain within Amostal, but for one to access those, one must first, of course, find a way to fly up to this flying city, but then also one must deal with the abominations and the fearful monstrosities that infest the ruins still to this day. So I know that one of these days we're going to get to do Amostal as an adventure. And I can't wait to do that with our marvelous contributors and our friends. And there's so many places that I want to explore. So many places that we all want to explore, and this is one that I just can't wait. It's like Mount Grombeer, which is now called Mount Nefrius in the Netherlands. I can't wait to. That might actually be the first mega dungeon that we do, right? And
awesome.
The dead city of I know it. I'm very excited. Anyway, I hope people liking this this image.
I think is Phoenix Prime JK. That's Jim Kenny.
Yes, I believe it is.
Okay, he says it reminds me of the classic Elmore stuff.
Oh yes, this it's got a little bit of that feel. Yes, and what I mean, this is the thing. The reason. People ask me all the time, they say, you guys spend a lot of money on art, and we do. We spend a ridiculous amount of money on art. But the thing is that a picture really is worth 1,000 words. And in this modern day where we all grew up with, movies and television and video games and all of that stuff, this is why I believe that you need these things to help people to visualize. Because when you look at this, you're like, whoa. And I mean, can you imagine you show that to your players and you say, you're standing, in the valley of the Nethershade, and you look up, and there is Amostal.
Absolutely.
And you're like, and you don't say anything, right? You just be quiet, right? You just be quiet and let them ponder that image, right? And the wind blowing, right? And the strange sounds coming from the valley below, where the bubbling of the still melted stone remains, and the smell, right, of the brimstone, and suddenly you're there, right? You're there. So,
I think that
anyway, it's marvelous.
So I'm a player, if my GM showed me this image and said, "This is our next adventure," like I would lose my mind. I would be so excited to go explore it. So
yeah, I love Amazon. Well, of course, we have two cities of the Eterns that are on that have crashed on West Verdestia. Well, one have crashed. Obviously, this one never crashed. It is the only one that remains in the sky. But the other one, of course, is on West Verdestia, and it is Muz-Duran, right? Which is the flying city of the Eterns that was called Telsanthrod. And Telsanthrod turned completely over and then crashed to the planet, and is relatively near the city of Darkenhaven. So these places have much lore and much magic and much corruption about them. So
absolutely.
Goodness gracious, there's a lot of people. I want to sing Myron the Ugly Troll. I've been doing that here. Yes, I have. I'm going to do it after we hang up.
Or you could do it at the end of our call.
All right, I'll do it.
Okay. Next up, let's see here, is... Wait, hold on. That's not that's not supposed to be the next one. He's supposed to be in the neutral god. Okay, here, we'll go to the neutral gods. Oh, I see what I did. I put the dire Frostbats in the wrong folder. Let's go back over here.
Poor dire Frostbats. Okay, there you go.
Okay, let's go ahead and do the dire Frostbats since I just showed that image. Here we go. Dire Frostbats.
So these are Marvelous Monster, and they are Frostbats, and they are a creature that folks will encounter in Chapter 4. And they are quite marvelous and really kind of terrifying. And I think, again, these are, as we've been going forward here, we've been doing more and more monsters because we are planning on the Cyclopedia Monster Cup, right, for next year. And so these incredible images, right, really give you an idea. I mean, can you imagine that thing coming down and going to bite your face, camera Mandy? It's just coming right at you. Yes.
I would scream. No,
I know you would scream.
In real life, I would scream, but you know,
like
in the game,
little girl.
In the game, I would be a total badass and take it on with my rapier. So I don't know, or my arrows if I'm playing my ranger. So,
got it.
Yes.
Well, anyway, I love this image. You get a really good feel for the thing coming in at your face. You know, it's just really, it's really a wonderful image. I hope folks are liking it.
Yes. Flap your arms really hard. Oh, that was in order to wait, I get it. Okay, I got confused because we showed a bat. That was actually the answer to how are we going to get up to this thing.
Oh, Amistad. Yes, to get up to Amistad.
Yeah, how do you get up to Amistad?
Well, you could certainly hire an Etherean airship.
Do magic carpets exist in Zyathé?
I'm sure that they do. likely though, probably more in the Sundestia, and that place more than Verdestia.
I gotcha.
Because we're trying to keep lore a little bit more appropriate for what we're trying to do, rather than having everything be the same everywhere. Right?
I appreciate that. I like that. All right, next up.
Yes, this is the Soul Pixie. Yes, so this is the happy pixie. It's I really love this image. I think it's so cute, and we've begun to work obviously on the Feyari, their courts and their various creatures. You know, I think you showed the guinea fink. Didn't you show that last week, camera Mandy?
Yes.
We put up. Yes, we showed the guinea finks, and so there are more coming. But this is just a wonderful image of a Soul Pixie, right? So it's I love the feel of the face and the eyes and the dance of it, you know, and it's so fey, you know, it's just wonderful.
I like the spikes coming off its elbow.
Oh yes, this little bit of stick
danger.
You in the face, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, right? It's like a thorn.
Okay, we have a question from the chat. How many active artists is Gooey Cube using? So how many artists are we currently using?
So probably currently we're working with about 12, but there's really, depending on the timing and the different style, we've worked with, it's 24, 26 artists, something like that. This is Anga, who has been doing some of our monsters for us. Anga did this Soul Pixie.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's interesting because they're kind of different styles, but
oh yes,
they all somehow still work within the world of Zyathé. So
well, the thing is, I said this a long time ago. Remember this, camera, Mandy, and this is really important to all. Is I know there's sort of some people like to have like every image in the book all done by sort of the same artist, so everything is very consistent. I personally find that a little boring, right? I love varying art styles. I love sort of the artistic interpretations that different artists bring when they do things, right? When they make things, and so for me, the artistical variety is actually a plus, not a minus. And so far, we have gotten many people have said they really love, even on our adventures where we probably have 6 or 7 different artists, 8 different artists working on one adventure, right? Different portraits, different, all those styles. People have never said anything they don't like the more broad consistency of style.
Well, you can think of it as different folks in Zyathé who have captured these images. These are all Zyathé artists. They live in the world of Zyathé and they capture what they see. And you have a grand variety of people in Zyathé making art.
Right. That's exactly right.
So, anyway, next up, we have what are these, the neutral?
Yes, these are the servants of the neutral gods. So is this the Kovis streams? Will you tell me the names, camera, Mandy? Because
this one is, I know it's a little small stream. It is Andestrinus.
The Andestrines. So
yeah.
all of the neutral good gods, their servants answer with the een sound. So like when we did the lawful goods, that was the ial, the ial. So we've tried to give some consistency there and some interest there. And so the godly servants are all the same for the neutral good gods, and these are the ones that are there. So this is the Andestrine, and they are quite fearful. You don't want to mess around with them, right? So they will do you quite aggressively if you are one who sort of crosses the neutral gods, or if you have done something. So it is much more likely in Zyathé that you would actually run up against or meet one of the godly servants than it is for you to meet one of the gods. So these are marvelous, and that's why we want to have them, because we want people to be able to experience interactions with the gods and not necessarily have to have Kismia show up and all 900 feet of her, right, and looking you in the face like an ant, So these are marvelous.
Jim wants to know: is this a lightsaber that he is holding?
It is not. It is a sword of blue flame.
Sorry, it's a sword of blue flame. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, let me ask you. If you were somehow able to defeat one of these gods, could you take the sword of blue flame, or sorry, not the god, but the servant of the god, would you be able to take the sword of flame and use it for yourself?
Well, I think that's going to depend on the table. Sounds like a tale still in the telling to me, yes?
Sounds like we need to come up with some stats for the sword. Okay.
We absolutely will.
Okay, next up.
Yes, so these are called these? Dendestrines.
So you guys, even I cannot pronounce everything.
Remember,
or anything.
Streen at the end. It's a stream, right? Endestrine, Dendestrine, right? So these actually have a little bit of. So this was our nod to, because there's people at the beginning who really wanted turtle people in our world, right? And I didn't really want turtle people. But I wanted to give a nod to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles a little bit and have a little fun with sort of the turtle people thing. And these godly servants, these are not to be trifled with. They are very powerful and very dangerous, and they carry weapons of significant capability. And they are obviously well armored and can do a lot of damage. So if you think about the Gods' War, and as we've begun to explore these various godly servants, think about the Gods' War, and you think about all of these servants going against each other. It must have been something, to see that as they battled, right, in the plains and even on the face of Zyathé. It was unbelievable.
Okay, next up. Ooh, Thor. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it's a little, right? It's a little like ogre dwarf, right? That kind of thing. But this is are these the
These are the Kendestrins.
Kendestrins, yes, Kendestrins. Yes. So they are very brawny, and they carry these incredibly strong hammers that enable them to do much damage, right? If they needed to break down walls or break through any impediments, they are able to do so. And they're like living siege engines almost. They are not small, obviously. You can tell a very large creature, and so probably 12 feet tall or so, something like that, and they are quite interesting. See, there's another one, right? If you're able to take down one of these guys, you get that hammer, right? Does it work for you? You have to figure that out in times to come.
I'm just saying, like, you put these out there, people are gonna be interested in the weapons. But I mean, how much are they gonna want to take down the servants of the gods? Will that bring wrath upon their head? You know?
Yeah, and more servants of the gods to bring other things upon their head, right?
Yeah, exactly. So is it really worth it for the awesome? I don't know. People will say yes, of course, because the weapons are awesome. This dude's cool.
Yeah, so this is what? Give me the name again, camera Mandy, so I don't forget. Coven's Dreams. Yes. So this is the sort of the administrators of the neutral good gods, and so they do all kinds of sort of the managing all of the stuff that goes on in the planes for the neutral good gods, and they also are very powerful in magic. And I really love this execution. I thought it was really well done.
Absolutely. Okay, last one.
Okay, can you pronounce this one, Mandy?
No, Zovan
Dream. Zovan Dream, yes.
Okay.
So the Zovan Dream are the last of the neutral good servants. And they are sort of wolfic, and they are winged, and it's really a very handsome image. And I actually have the artist who did an extended version, so the wings are all out, so you can see it in its full glory, because it's a marvelous creature.
So we actually just got a cool comment from the chat. Blackstrake4 says, "Hey, Wave, Lurkin wanted to pop by and say hi. Was great meeting you at Dragon Con back in 2018.
19.
No. Oh, yes, it would have been 19.
It would have been 19.
That is true.
Yes, 19.
Because we weren't open yet.
So are they here? Are they here now at Dragon Con?
I don't know, but hey, if you are, go stop over at the Gooey Cube booth.
Yeah, come say hello.
That's where Alphinius is streaming from now. But yes, everyone loves his art.
Yeah, I know. It really helps again to bring it all to life, and
well, it also helps that it's a dog. Well, I know it's a wolf.
Oh,
but
everybody loves the wolfy dog. Yes.
Absolutely. So okay, and yeah, everyone love this art. So, all right, next up, we are gonna go to the under. Is it the under? How do you say it? Underdelvin?
So these, excuse me, Cameron. I'm gonna sneeze here on you.
It's okay.
These we just have called the Underdelvin as a temporary placeholder. So this is one of our new races, and they will be coming out in the encyclopedia of the races, and we've been working on them a little bit more. But in our minds, they are from the far deep, right? Which is the far deepest areas of the Zyathé. And they are very small creatures. They are but, 3 foot tall at most, 2.5 to 3 foot tall. And they are very interesting and I think wonderful. And people like small races to play. And this will give another option for the small races.
Well, plus, look at this. I mean, what a great fashion sense. Oh, I think Alphinius is coughing.
No, this is sorry, I apologize.
And she has like a glowing, what kind of bird is that? A glowing hawk
So she's got some kind of a familiar, right? She got some kind of a familiar. And remember, this does not mean that just because they are from the far deep, that they are all in the far deep, right? You can find these folks online.
Look at that!
Yes, is she not marvelous? Yeah, no one has seen this. This is this is the Underdelvin. I did a warlock, which is much to my chagrin, right? Because I don't really like warlocks, but yes, this is beautiful. Yes, you should zoom in on that a little bit.
Oh my goodness!
Mandy.
If you saw me right now, like my mouth is like hanging open. I love this art.
Yes, isn't that wonderful?
Oh my goodness! She's like the evil queen, but maybe not evil. I don't know. I'm all about this. This looks awesome.
Damn warlocks.
Okay.
They all look evil, even if they're not.
Yes.
Are people liking this one? Because I don't think anyone has ever seen this before.
Jim says warlocks wear hats.
Yes, they do.
Okay. Ooh.
Now we have shown her. We have shown her before.
I am really glad that you guys chose to include some of the different, because you guys, when you guys were going through the process of making these, you had a bunch of different skin colors for the.
Yes.
And I'm glad that you guys decided to do more than just one.
And they are going to vary, actually. In fact, I'm having 2 more made right now that will be sort of greenish gray, kind of pushing to that direction a little bit too.
Yeah.
So, but I love this image of this warrior. You know, you can just see her just jumping around like Yoda. You know, just sticking you in the neck and jumping away, and that's really cool.
Nice.
No one has seen this one either. This is another new one.
Oh wow!
So this is a ranger, yes, with the companion, right? Which is this marvelous fox.
I want to just do a campaign with these characters. Like,
yes, is that not good?
All the same race, and we are just like a bunch of little, whatever they're going to end up being called, running around Zyathé kicking ass. Oh my god, this is amazing.
Come on, seriously, to ask people, are they? This is marvelous.
Yes, yeah, everyone's loving it. Either, yes. Everyone is loving it.
I've got a couple more being made. I think people are going to love them.
James is going to come play in this campaign. Oh, well, James, you might need to GM it. So,
yeah, James, you might have to game master it, James.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But listen, my hope is really that we give this race, as well as, of course, there's the fire race that is also coming, that I'm going to have a few more of those done, and then we'll show those here on one of the Goo Morning Zyathés coming up.
Oh, wow.
And because I love that race, and the lore about them I think is spectacular, because in Sundestia, right, when that terrible woe of ruin occurred, and the explosion, from Resplansia came across and really wiped out much of the eastern seaboard, right, all the way to the Bonduran Range, and created the Du'un Sara Sea, right, that place of murk crystal, right. That was where most of them lived, and so they were nearly, not nearly wiped out, but certainly their population cut as dramatically as any other population on the face of Zyathé, and frankly, probably more than any of the other populations. And so I can't wait to walk us through that race as well. They are going to be a big part of Sundestia and the lore as we begin to explore that place. And I am going to have on Goo Morning Zyathé here soon, not too soon, but soon, the team, the Sundestian team, so that they can kind of share some of the cool things that are going on with the City of Many Marvels and the wonderment of this whole Sundestian thing that is going on. So I think folks are going to love Sundestia.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes, this guy, yes.
By the way, we in the chat have already started working out. 12 Tone is GMing the game. We're all going to play in it. So we are very excited for when you get us some stats for this race here. And when you come up with the name of the race, you have to come up with a name so that way we can play it. But yeah,
they are coming.
We're going to have a whole party.
Well, honestly, I got to give some props to Michelle, because we were really trying to figure out these eyes, and Michelle sent this cat eye thing over that was cool. And I sent that to the artist. The artist played around with it, and that's actually how the Underdelvin eyes were actually created, because Michelle sent us that cat eye thing, which is cool.
Oh my goodness, Michelle, you're awesome. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we have a whole party planned. This rogue is amazing.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, I love this. Everyone loves these images. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we are excited for details on this race, and yeah, we look forward to our adventure. our adventures around Zyathé. Next up, though.
Yes.
We have Gooey portraits.
Oh, yes. I'm excited to talk about this today.
We'll start with...
So you kind of need to show Starn as well.
Oh.
So
can I show him at the... Let me see if I can show him at the same time. Hold on.
This is Giza. And Giza is actually Giza, and she is Ben Simon's significant other, and Ben Simon is of course Giza's significant other, right? And so here they are, and there's wonderful lore around this Starn Philan, who is the image on the right there, that is Ben's character, and Giza, who was sort of created into the not created but passed and turned into this spirit being, and the spirit being is actually connected to Starn's sword, and there is just some incredible lore around this that will be in the East Verdestia book. And I think again, as we continue to build more and more of our people being the non-player characters in the world, I'm excited to do this, to talk about their lore and have that lore be usable by game masters to enjoy at their tables. And I think folks are going to love Starn and Giza and the lore behind it. And I think that there's a whole group actually of folks that are associated with this, and it is all down right on the edge of the Mithril Mountains there in the Essenverd, and it's a good tale. It's a really, really good tale.
So, I think the first time we started doing this was in Coldest of Blood, because we had already pretty much written and produced the first two adventures when we opened Gooey Cube. So the third adventure is when we start running into people and characters that we know in real life and we see in real life. And I will say, as a player, it is so much fun getting to interact with those characters. Like, there's just a certain level of excitement when you run across a face that you know, like the Heart Foxes.
Yes, because the Heart Foxes actually literally drive by you on their wagon, right? Their coach, and with these mechanical soldiers walking behind them, right? Is because they are artificers. Yes, so it's marvelous.
Yes, and then there was a few other portraits at the end. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there was a few other portraits right at the end of Coldest of Blood, and like it just adds such an element of like you want to interact with these characters more because these are people that you know, and it's interesting to see the GM's take on the characters.
Yeah, so that is Steve. I would be careful too, camera Mandy, because of spoilers. But that is Steve, and that is Dan. And that is Lawrence's portraits. Yes, that are all three.
And Lawrence is my brother, so I ran across. Yeah. I ran across him I mean, how cool is that? Okay, so next up, we're going to show.
Yes, Grayson Lador. Right. So Grayson is a Sarth, and Grayson is also Keith. Yes. And Grayson is very active in the Essenverd, and in the conflict between Valandia and the Adjuvandun Archipelago. And Grayson is part of the freedom fighters, if you will, that are trying to save blood-touched people from the Valandians. And so there's much lore around this, but if you are blood touched and you go to Valandia, there are many who say you will never return. And so there's some interesting lore about this. I'm not going to spoil it, but Grayson, Keith made this portrait quite a while back, and it is really is wonderful, And this was done by Vera. Vera got that's another thing too. Part of our goal is to help artists who maybe are not so discovered get discovered, and we've had a number of them happen, right? So they do the work for us. They are able to put the work up, then people know that they do the work, and so they get discovered. So Vera actually was hired by a studio after having worked for us for a couple, 3 years. And she is marvelous. I miss her terribly, but I'm so happy for her because it was a job she was really hoping for, and I'm glad it happened. But Vera made Keith's marvelous portrait of Grayson.
Yeah. I mean,
and if you could see Keith, you'd look and say, "Whoa, that's Keith." That's
Vera also did if you look at my little icon, the camera Mandy icon, she did portrait. She did a lot of the Goo Crew's portraits, and yeah, she's incredibly talented. I'm also really happy that she was able to get a job in the field.
Yep, very early on, she was one of the first. Oh yes, it is the governess. So this is Michelle, and she and Christy did a lot of work on the Blue Shine Archipelago in the Westford, and they also determined to have their portraits be associated with those places. And so this is the governess of Moon Island, and she is Lady Avanche Morale. And so if you go to Moon Island, you have a real good chance of possibly meeting the governess. And so this is Michelle. It's a wonderful portrait. I love the look of it and the feel of it. It's very warm. It's very old school and piratey, and she's got a wonderful smile. She's magnificent. So it's just that very happy portrait.
And she definitely got that parasol from my shop.
From your shop that Jim wants us
yes.
to put.
Yes, the parasol shop. Yes, indeed.
The parasol shop.
Okay. Oh wait, we already did Ben. We have one more. There we go.
Yes, there she is. Yes, Marvelous Christie. This is Keraskul Fyra, who is Madame Fyra of Fyra Island in the Blue Shine Archipelago. She is one of two Myron that made themselves their portraits in Myron. The other one being, of course, Father Geeky Hoodie. And so she is marvelous. Christy has been around, like she was one of the first ever to be a member of the Gooey Den. And goodness gracious, I think we're now, because of all the friends we're meeting here, approaching like 1,450 people, and it's just amazing. But it's just not a beautiful, just wonderful portrait of her, and it's just there are a lot of little touches, the thing going on in her hand, and it's just wonderful. It's just amazing.
Okay, well, I think that concludes the art section of our stream. So now,
and my friends, we are not going to do readings and stuff. It's just too distracting. But I am going to sing Myron the Ugly Troll, and you'll be able to. I'm going to set it up, and I'm going to sing Myron the Ugly Troll, and we'll see if people like it. There's a lot of people around, so it might be a little embarrassing, but I'm going to give it my best.
Definitely do the embarrassing thing. So next up, though, we do have some questions.
All right.
From the post I made last night, basically being like, hey, we don't have anything planned. This all was thrown together. This is like the session of your session where you just didn't have time to prepare, and so the GM just totally wings it all in like 30 minutes
from
before.
The beginning to the end.
Yes. So we were very lucky that we were able to pull this together, and hey, we're also lucky that the Wi-Fi at Dragon Con is pretty decent. So.
Well, we have the MiFi system, that we can carry here. We bring that here so that we can do transactions and that kind of thing.
Okay, so this is the Q&A portion. I'm going to do 10 minutes of questions, and then we'll get Myron the Ugly Troll set up. So.
All right.
Okay. What was the first con Gooey Cube was at? Gen Con.
So I will give nostalgia here because. If you remember, Camera Mandy, we all got together, right? And we said, okay, we're going to try to publish this stuff, right? And so we made chapter 1, and we made chapter 2, and we made the world book. And we had this crazy idea about a collaborative world, and we had a crazy idea about, having folks be a part of it and all of that stuff. But what we had no idea, right, was would people buy it? Because it's so unique, right? It's so very different, right? And so we showed up at Gen Con. We were late, so we had to put this presentation together because we were trying to get into Entrepreneurs Row, which was the only way we were going to get into Gen Con. And we really worked hard, did a great presentation, and they loved it. And they said, yes, we want you. And so we set up a booth, a 10 by 10 booth in Entrepreneurs Row, which is not where a lot of people go. A lot of people don't really cruise over there, so it's a smaller area. But we were fortunate to be right next to the launching booth of Eldritch Foundry. Marvelous miniatures, by the way. They do the custom miniatures that you can have printed, and they will send them to you. you can customize them, with the computer program and all that stuff. Anyway, they were giving away free miniatures. So lots and lots of people came over there to get the free miniatures. And while they were there, lots and lots of people came up and looked at our stuff. And that's when we began talking to people about running games differently, about more immersive experiences, about making game masters' lives easier, all of this kind of stuff. And doggone it if people didn't start buying stuff. We met Harry was one of the first ever to buy our stuff. I still remember him standing there, with his hat on, and Eric was there, and so many others. Matt, we met Matt there, and just so many other folks that came from Gen Con and loved the idea of Zyathé and what we were doing. And I still get a little emotional about it, because you remember, Camera Mandy, I was like, we spend a lot of money on this stuff. What if nobody likes it, right? Because we didn't really know, right?
We were all in. We were definitely all in from, and you know what I remember from that? I remember a few things. First off, I remember we only had a 10 by 10 booth, and there was 17 of us there. And
yes,
so we
was packed.
Yeah, it was so crazy. And then I also remember, though, that Alphinius was doing just such a great job selling stuff that the people who were across from us actually came over at the end of the con, and we were I have to know what all this is. And so
they did. They did.
Yeah, so Alphinius went, and I'm actually pulling up a picture of our Instagram right now.
You know what? While you're doing that, what you should do is, because Camera Mandy did a wonderful thing there. There was all these marvelous cosplayers that were at Gen Con, and Camera Mandy, I think she's going to do this again. She went around to all these cosplayers and took these marvelous pictures. And so I don't know if I obviously don't want to go through all of them, Camera Mandy, but if you want to put up a couple of them while I'm talking, I think folks would love to see some of those marvelous images. Yeah, so yes, Camera Mandy we had a huge number of our people from our company. It was really sort of a party, right? As much as it was a sort of, is anybody going to buy our stuff? And doggone it if we didn't sell quite a bit of our products. And people joined the den, and this is how it all sort of began, right there.
Absolutely. Hold on, I'm pulling up really quickly the picture from our first con.
That's marvelous. That's why we met Emmanuel from Really Dicey, but just Nerd Caliber is probably more well known. And we met Big Rick there. We met Anthony there. I mean, we made a lot of friends at that first Gen Con.
Yeah, while we were talking about this, another question was, what kind of stuff do we look to shop for when we're at a con? I love buying dice, but also I just love going around to different smaller businesses, because I used to make these hats. Oops, hold on 1 second. I need to make us both on here. There we go. So this is some of the pictures from the first con that we ever went to from Gen Con. So
these are marvelous, Camera Mandy. I mean, just.
But you don't have to spend a ton of money there to make a big difference in somebody's day. So if you see smaller businesses, if you see people selling their books, just go up to them and talk with them, and maybe you'll find that they have something that you're interested in, and it doesn't it's $20, and it's something that helps them out so much. Here we go. Here's a picture from the booth. This is Alphinius selling in the tiny booth. So.
Yeah, it was tight.
Yeah. Oh, there's me and Mrs. Goo.
Yeah, Ms. Goo, look at that.
So she was my assistant while we went and did all these photographs. So these are just some of the photographs. And then this is the whole crew from back then, right in front of our very, very tiny booth. So
you can see I am a huge man. You see that?
You are very
towering above everyone. Yes.
This is at the end of the con when Alphinius had been standing in these boots for 2 or 3 days straight and was like, I cannot take it anymore. So
I can't. So I got out of costume, and the last day I just put on Got Goo, put on a Got Goo shirt. I'd also had this crazy idea that I was going to keep my hair dyed gray.
Oh my goodness!
Zoom in on that. Mandy.
I don't know that I can zoom in on it. I can't zoom in on it, but I wish I could. I have a better picture of it.
For all of you out there who want to know about hair coloring, I am a total expert, okay? Because
Here's a picture.
So I went to my friend who does hair. There we are with Matt. Yes, that's marvelous. That's right.
And sorry.
I went to my friend who does the hair coloring thing and said, listen, what's it going to take to be sort of gray, right? I want you to do gray. And she said, well, gray is tough. She says it doesn't really stick very well, right? So I did this gray thing, and the next thing you know, I sort of turned yellow, right? So I determined that I was not going to attempt to be an all gray haired wizard. It was not going to work.
Okay.
So that is
here's what happened,
inside information.
Here's another picture. So the thing is it's not really captured well here because I edited these photos. But under the fluorescent light, the yellow hair, it was like a pea yellow. It was like a pea yellow.
At you. It's like the kids from the soccer team.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying, Kevin Mandy?
Yes.
Like they do that thing with their hair when they bleach it out, and all of a sudden it's like this horrible yellow. Yeah, it was awful. Yeah, it was not good.
So
not
funny.
Good at all.
It was so funny.
So this is au natural now. This is what this is. Yes, natural.
So here, a question from the chat. Did all the shipments get sent out for the U.S. intermediate shipment of Chapter 4 and Westford with Map Pack? Yes.
Now, here's the deal. If you did not get an email, we need to hear from you because it is possible we missed a few folks. So please, if you did not get an email, you don't get a package here. You need to send an email to, in fact, send it to me, Alphinius.Goo at gooeycube.com. ALPHINIUS.GOO at gooeycube.com. And we will make sure we get you taken care of.
Awesome. Okay. Next question. How tall is Alphinius?
So I used to be 6'4", and I've shrunk a little as I've gotten to be 60 years old. So I'm more like 6'3", maybe a little over 6'3" now. But in those damn boots, I felt like I was 6'5". Remember those boots, Camera Mandy?
Yes. And you don't wear the boots anymore. In fact, like he doesn't even wear the pants we had made. He wears sweatpants.
No, I'm wearing the pants. I'm wearing them.
You?
I just don't. Yeah, I'm wearing them right now.
Oh,
yes,
you just wear the tennis shoes with them.
I'm not wearing the boots.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not wearing the boots.
It's understandable. We tried everything with those boots to make them comfortable, and by the end of the day, I know that your feet were just barking. All right.
It was awful.
Jim Kenny wants to know. Excuse me. I can tell there are a number of elements in the world of Zyathé that might be inspired and hint at a homage to some classic works of sci-fi in fantasy literature and movies. Does Gooey Cube have its own version of Appendix N? This is the list at the back of AD&D Dungeon Master's Guide that listed Gary Gygax's inspirations.
So we don't have that, but I saw Jim's comments and I was like, we need to do that because there are many. Everything from the worms that we're going to put in the Doom Sara Sea is a nod to Frank Herbert and Marvelous Doom, right? There are lots of them, and I've had if you've read some of our materials in Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, there are a lot of little dedications. Tracy and Laura Hickman, Margaret Weiss, the incomparable, obviously Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson. There are a number of dedications. Len Lekofka, who wrote The Assassin's Knot, one of my most favorite second edition adventures. That was just a wonderful experience with our friends. We lost Len just recently, I believe. I feel sad for that. But no, it was really it just. As you go through the process, right, of thinking about all the things that you're trying to bring to the world, right, and all of this stuff, and how do you thank all the people that all the books you've read and the movies you've watched and the shows you've seen and all of the things you've done, right, and how do you thank them, and so in the front of our materials there's a pretty long list of thanking folks who have done. Wonderful to inspire us. It's great. So thank you, Jim. We're going to have to do that. I agree with you.
Yeah, we actually have a few comments along the lines like we need a wiki. I agree.
We need a wiki.
And Peter in the Goo Den said perhaps a glossary of Zyathe's words with meanings and definitions for locations, people of import, deities, races, etc. And I know that
we have a glossary that was started. And we have been keeping a list of all the new words, but it takes a lot of time to do one of those glossaries. And we felt like it was more important to get out all the Kickstarter materials rather than spending, 30 or 40 hours working on a glossary, and that's why we haven't done it yet. But yes, it needs to be done.
Yes, absolutely.
And Elle is like standing right in front of me, and she is dancing, right? So Elle is dancing, showing the materials to other people. Well done, Elle. Excellent dancing.
Okay. Lastly, from Rob, before we do our Myron the Ugly Troll. Yes, and I do agree. Pronunciations need to be a part of that. the wiki.
Absolutely.
We will figure that out. Rob wants Zyathé beard grooming techniques for Desti and mead recipes.
Yes.
Myron
Yes. No,
tanning practices.
Rob is a goofball.
Answering the eternal question: if you choke a Myron, what color do they turn? Okay, that's a good one.
Rob.
That is a good one. Let's ask.
I don't have a clue. I do not have a clue. So at your table, you can define that. I would say probably darker blue, but I don't know for sure. Goodness gracious, there's so many people outside
we all
our
agree
booth
it's
right
purple.
Now.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, we have a few minutes left in the show. If you want to show us the booth and do Myron the Ugly Troll, I think that's a great way to finish up today.
All right, so I'm going to do this without making everybody sick, right? So
you're doing excellent.
So you can see the booth, right? And you can see
Riley, you're on camera.
Riley, you're on camera. Yes, and you can see, we have a lot of folks who are interested in our stuff. And it is really quite marvelous, and we can end a little bit early today, camera Mandy. It's not a problem. Yeah. I'm supposed to be wearing the mask while indoors the whole time, but goodness gracious, I almost fell over. But I think as long as I kind of keep my distance back and stay, well past 6 feet from people, it shouldn't be a problem. All right, you can see this, camera Mandy?
Yes. This is a very downward angle. Maybe Riley could hold the laptop to give you a better angle.
Riley, she wants you to hold the laptop to give me a better angle, so when I sing Myron the Ugly Troll. All right, I'm going to give this my best. There are a lot of people here. There is Riley holding the laptop.
You should probably prepare the people. Ready? There we go. That's much nicer.
All right. Ready? Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Myron the Ugly Troll. You can accompany me. There were an old troll named Myron. 'Twas a surly old troll, it's true. He lived down under Farley's Bridge, would take a toll or two. He were a nasty cusser with a big old warty nose. When he would pick a boogie, he'd wipe it on his clothes. Oh, Myron, Myron, Myron the Ugly Troll. His face looks like a pile of puke. He smells like a bunger hole. When he comes a-callin', you better pay the price, or he'll put you in his boiling pot and eat you by the slice. Now I'll do the last verse.
No,
now,
do the whole thing.
No, we don't need to. The whole thing. All right, now Myron were an ugly troll. His teeth were big and green. He'd eat 3 men in just one day, and your granny in between. You didn't want to cross him. That'd put you in a spot. He'd take you down beneath his bridge and eat you in a pot. Yes, Myron, Myron, Myron the Ugly Troll. His face looks like a pile of puke. He smells like a bunger hole. When he comes a-callin', you better pay the price, or he'll put you in his boiling pot and eat you by the slice. Now, down to Farley's Bridge one day came a maid named Zyathé. She were a ranger from the west on her way to Underdelvin. Old Myron come upon her, said, "Pay or you'll be dead." So Zyathé pulled out her sword and cut off Myron's head. Oh, Myron, Myron, Myron the Ugly Troll. He learnt his lesson, yes he did, from the ranger Zyathé. Now when folks come down to that bridge, so afraid to shake their bone, they see old Myron's ugly head stuck on the cornerstone. Ha!
Are you sure that Alphinius is a wizard and not a bard?
That was not really good singing.
I think everyone enjoyed it immensely. I mean, you even got a comment. I'm not crying, you're crying. People are touched by your performance. That was a nat 20 on charisma.
I'm even more humbled being out here and going out with friends and seeing folks that we met 2 years ago, and I can't wait for Gen Con because there's going to be 70, 80, 90 folks there, right? That it's just it is so wonderful to have built this community and see it keep growing and adding, and it is humbling and amazing, and just heartwarming. There's not even words to describe it for me, so I appreciate you all, and appreciate you, camera Mandy, and of course all the Goo crew, and all of the wonderful friends that we have made over these past couple of years.
Absolutely. Well, I don't think we're going to be able to end the show better than that. So everyone loved it. You were getting so many comments.
Well,
everyone, yeah, you were amazing. Everyone who's a part of this community, we just appreciate you so much. So,
well, have a wonderful day, my friends. May all your I got a little teary-eyed now. So may all your adventures be sticky, and I'll go blow my nose.